Many of the people that I work with, they are on the cusp, right? They're literally presented with a fork in the road. You know, go left, and you know everything that everything's guaranteed. You can expect, certain results. Go right, and everything is unknown, and that's the adventure. And it's like people who want to turn right. That's who I work with, and the breakthrough is a combination of things. It's if you have the awareness first, right? And then you have the daily practices, you have your well-being and your integrity, and you have the right guide and the right tools. It's to get you past the point of, I have a glass ceiling, right? There's an obstacle. I believe, I've had many breakdowns in my life, and it took the breakdown before I had the breakthrough, right? Sometimes you need to bounce off rock bottom to get up. And the whole point of breakthrough is, if you're in a relationship and you feel like you're settling in areas, or you feel like it could be better, or a career you feel like is not aligned with your values or what you want for yourself, or just your lifestyle, just who you are and the way you're living your life is not nearly as close to what your potential is. Being a breakthrough coach is about, let's create possibility for you. That's the difference. Like, that's what coaching is for me. It's, I want to know what your future possibility is, and I want to bring that to you as fast as possible, right? So what do you need to do now? Because I believe if you keep doing what you're doing right now, so the people you hang out with, the way you treat yourself, the way you think about yourself, where you work, all that stuff, you have a default path. We're all going on a default path. If we don't change anything, right, you're going to end up someplace. And so if you really illustrate, you really get connected. I had one client, I asked, and he was we were doing our one-on-one session, and this is like 3 months in, and he was just like, I'm getting all this anxiety, scared, like this coaching is really, it's really intense, and like there's so much change happening, and like I'm afraid of the change, and I'm resisting the change and stuff like that. Then I said, you know what's worse than change? What sucks worse than change? Staying the same. And then I asked him, I said, what if the next 30 years of your life was a photocopy of today? What if you kept doing what you're doing now, living the way you're living, and projected it 30 years out? How would it feel? And then he paused, and he looked at me, and he said, I would rather die than not change.
That's serious.
Because if I was going to repeat this day, this way of being, there's no point in living. I need to grow.
Wow.
There's no point in being he's essentially saying there's no point in being, I agree too, there's no point in being alive if you're not going to evolve or change or become better practiced in an area. And that was a massive shift for him, right? And that's really what it is. It's like you have your future possibility, and that's my job. My job is to speak to your highest and best self. I'm speaking to the person who has the most possibility, power, okay, and passion. And when I speak to that part of you, we're speaking to your essence, your truth. And I want to bring you to your highest possibility, right? And if you're not, if you don't change anything, you're just going to go into that default. Maybe change a few little things, but honestly, on your own, if I couldn't have done anything the last couple of years on my own. I wouldn't have got through those things if I did it completely on my own. I think everyone kind of is not as equipped, right?
Too many issues from being kids to be able
from our childhood.
Everybody's got issues from them being kids, and there's no way. And there's this whole thing about standing on the shoulders of a giant in order to be able to go further. So you have to have help from others. What would you say is your biggest, your biggest big breakthrough that you've been able to help somebody deal with? One
of the biggest breakthroughs. And it's hard because I can't say it was all me, right? I'm just a guide.
Yeah.
I'm not on the field playing with them. I'm on the sidelines, and I'm seeing, okay, this is when you're tired, let's take you off, bench. Or you're I know you can push yourself more. Keep going. I know you can push yourself more. So literally, I'm your best cheerleader, best listener, and I can see things from a different point of view for yourself.
Absolutely.
And again, it's speaking to your highest possibility. So again, it's hard for me to take ownership of what it is, and it's still hard for me to receive it. I get these testimonials. I'm like, oh, these are amazing. I'm grateful for it, but it does not land, and that's my stuff that I need to work on, right? One client, one of my first ever clients that I was working with, and she was a friend of mine, and she was working at a job really well paid, high performing, but she had this passion. She wanted to be a nutritionist, holistic nutritionist, and she wanted to be she wanted to be more well known. She wanted to be full time. She was more entrepreneurial than anything, but she was stuck at this job, and so early on in our coaching, I could see myself in her, because I'm like, I know what's possible for you if you go of this 45 hours a week. Because she's driving around place to place, talking to account manager. She's an account manager essentially, taking orders and stuff like that. I'm like, you have so many other better things that you could be doing. And she has the same story as me, where a year after that, she got kicked out. She got let go from her job, and she also decided, I'm not going to have a boss ever again. And that was just over a year ago, right? And we worked together for, we did breakthrough coaching for maybe 6 months, I think, and we still, go on and off, just reconnecting and touching base and stuff like that. But now she's at a whole new place.
Nice.
She's at a whole other level, and I'm happy enough to say that she's doing better than me. I want my clients to do better than me. She has a whole bunch of clients. New clients coming all the time. She's on podcasts, countless podcasts. You should do a podcast with her. You should interview her.
Nice.
She's doing podcasts all the time, doing interviews all the time. She has so many other things that so many other possibilities for her. She's so busy, right?
Nice.
And for her, it's been this, dependent and on this job, and now she's like, oh my gosh, how do I take it to the next level? And I want everyone, the thing about some coaches is that they want to work with their clients forever, and I understand that, right? And in some cases that is really essential and it's important and it's beneficial. Just my style of coaching is more, how do I get you and fly? How do I want to give you the tools and graduate, go to the next level. So she has three different coaching groups that she's involved in and involved in more in the direction that she wants to take her business, right? Because I'm not a business coach, right? I'm a breakthrough coach. And then I have another client that I worked with for a year, and what was really interesting about him is that he first started saying, I want to learn the rent-to-own business. Teach me how to do rent-to-own. And I'm just like, dude, we can talk about rent-to-own, but that's going to be this much. I want to know you. I want to help the entire being, right? Holistically. And I want to find a breakthrough there. And so we talked every single week. We did our sessions every single week for a year, and because of the tools that we do, and the processes that we go through, he had a couple of major realizations. I think the first biggest realization was he realized how passionate he is about writing. That the writing process himself, because I encourage many of my clients to write or journal or something like that, and to start writing. And he started writing, and he realized how powerful it was for his own self-awareness and his own self-expression. And now he releases a newsletter every single week to share his pieces, share his writing. And then number two, and I believe it's because, some of the philosophies that we talk about, but his entire focus was so performance-based, which is something that I do help people increase their levels of performance. But it was so performance-based that it was ignoring a whole aspect, right? And it was this aspect of his emotional well-being. And it was something that he wasn't looking at, right? He realized that he thought he had this number that he wanted to achieve, and how many deals or how much money or where he's going to live. And he thought this was important to him. By the end of 12 months, his future vision was a set of values, a set of 6 values. And these 6 values were, I can't remember all of them, but it was be inspired or inspire somebody else. Have peace of mind, have tranquility. Have peak physical health. Feel strong. Those kinds of things. And at the end, I always ask my clients, did you find that it was worth it? What did you get out of our coaching? Then he said, so you know what? Someone was asking me how the coaching experience was with you, and I was telling him, in the beginning it was, I want the rent to own, and you said we're gonna talk about more stuff than rent to own. And he says yeah, just give me the rent to own stuff. He didn't care, right? He didn't care about the personal growth. He thought he had it all together. And what happened was he said it was definitely worth it, because now he's 6 times the man he was.
Wow.
He says he's 600% the man he was because of who he is emotionally. at a deeper level. Not like how he looks and how he does in business or anything like that, but he just realized his emotional well-being was the thing that he needed to break through. And I was like, fuck, please write that down. Like, please write a testimonial on that, because that's absolutely powerful. And, you know, I'm happy, and I'm happy to say I caught up with him a couple of weeks ago, and he was separated through this whole time with his wife.
Oh, wow.
And maybe it's because of this emotional well-being that he's been able to hone into, but they reunited. I just learned that they reunited.
That's so cool.
I know, they reunited.
Huh.
So, like, that is the most beautiful thing to
Yeah.
hear.
Wow.